My name is Trishana Da Costa. I'm 28 years old. I am an insurance representative. Last year, April, I went to my doctor because I found a small lump in my breast, a really small lump. And given that I had a lump before, it was benign. It was a breast milk in a duct somewhere. I wasn't really concerned, but because of my family history, I went to the doctor anyway. I was given a referral to do an ultrasound. I went to do the ultrasound and I was told that I have fibroadenoma. It's a benign breast disease that it's not cancerous. Went back to my doctor and he said, "See, I told you have nothing to worry about." And that was basically it. My sisters, they were both diagnosed in 2017. They both were fighting breast cancer at the same time. So I just wanted a second opinion. So I called the Cancer Society and asked them if they would do a mammogram. They said that they can't. They're not going to do a mammogram because I'm too young. So I was like, okay. So I started reading up on fibroadenoma and I read that it actually grows because I noticed the lump was growing. After about 3 months or so, I started to just live with it because it's benign. I had an excruciating headache at work and my coworker took me to work, and the doctor at the time, he didn't know why I was having a headache because it was right here at the base of my skull. And he gave me some morphine to help with the pain, and just a thought, telling me you have a lump in your breast. So I said, "Doc, I have a lump in my breast," and he looked at it and he was like, "Wow, you need to see your surgeon ASAP," because of the size of it. This time it was like this big. I saw the surgeon on the Wednesday. This was in August. Saw the surgeon on the Wednesday and he almost wanted to cry when he saw it. He said, "You're so young. A tumor this size is about stage 3 to stage 4. He sent me to do a biopsy. When I did the biopsy, it came back about 2 weeks after, and I was told that it was cancer. It is cancer. I was then sent to send over the samples that they took from the biopsy to Miami to get to know what type of cancer it is, because there are many different types. That's when I found out that it's estrogen positive. Then they ordered a bone scan and a CT, abdomen and pelvic scan. All my organs, my internal organs are fine, but then the majority of my bones have cancer. I was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, which means that it has metastasized. It was metastasized to my bones, my skull, my chest, my rib, my femur, my sternum, my spine. And at the time I was very ignorant as to what breast cancer really is, even though I have siblings who were fighting, they're survivors now. I didn't know much, didn't know what really to expect. And even after being diagnosed, I don't think they do enough to help us. Being that I was in so much pain, I was in excruciating pain at the initial diagnosis. I was basically feeling labor pains in my head, in my leg, in my pelvic. I was in so much pain and I had to sit on the benches in the hospital for the entire day just for somebody to come out and say, "Here is a little piece of paper with November 14 on it, and I was diagnosed September," to tell me to come back November 14, and this is stage 4. In my mind at the time when I found out, I'm dying, and you're going to tell me to come back a month and a half after. That was the hardest part of the diagnosis for me. when nobody would help me. I felt like when they saw my results, they were like, okay, she's gonna die anyway, so why help her? Why waste our medication on her? I couldn't get into UA, I couldn't get into KPH. Sorry. I think that more needs to be done when somebody gets diagnosed and before screening, everything. I don't think that at this age I should be planning to end when I'm supposed to be just beginning my life. And if I wasn't as ignorant as I was then, I would have known better. I think that we need to do more programs that spread awareness. I think that more persons need to not hide what they're going through, but talk up. And when we're kids, I think it affects the children the most, especially my son. Me going through this is like him going through it with me. He asks so many hard questions that I don't know how to answer. Mommy, did you know that people, because he does his research, he's very, very eloquent. Did you know that people die from breast cancer? I said, yes, I know that. Well, how do you know when somebody's gonna die? I said, when they're really sick. So he said, then, Mommy, are you sick or are you really sick? What do I say? I just told him that even if I'm really sick, you have so many persons that love you and are willing to take care of you in case anything happens to me. I don't want them. I want you. Well, the tests alone are probably over 400, close to 400,000, the initial testing. Yeah. Medication I took. I got chemo week before last week, Tuesday. And I got 4 pills in 2 different bottles, 8 pills. And that was $10,000 for the 2 pills, the 2 bottles of pills. That's just 8 single pills for $10,000. Before doing chemo, every time I do chemo, I have to do a blood test. I did one yesterday and it was $7,900. So it's very, very costly. The chemo, where I do chemo, it's free. It's a public hospital, but the thing is, when I had initially got cancer, I was trying to get into the public hospitals and I had to be going back and forth. And I had to wait a very long time. But the doctor who admitted me to the hospital that I am with now is a doctor that I met by chance. By chance. Only God. And she told me to come to the hospital the next day. And it's a small hospital and it's always full. So I'm very lucky. I have health insurance. I have health insurance and I have life critical illness. It has helped, but I sell both international and local health insurance, and trust me, local health insurance, there is a limit, there's a maximum. My maximum has been maxed from the first month. It's not funny, but it's funny. My maximum has been maxed from the first month. And funny enough, the health insurance, I was diagnosed September 27th, and my health insurance, I had switched from one company to another, and the effective date was October 1st. So there are still certain things that it won't cover. I got a diagnosis based on my age because I'm 28 and they don't expect 28-year-olds or 27-year-olds at the time to be diagnosed with cancer. They assumed it was something else. And to me, I think that I even went to the doctor yesterday and I was telling the doctor my story, and he sat there and his hand was on his head and he was like, what would I have done differently? Because of your age, I would never have guessed this. So what I actually want more doctors to do, and the younger persons, is to be more aware. Read up on these things, not breast cancer alone, but young men can get prostate cancer, young women cervical cancer, because when I was in the hospital, even though I was the youngest person there, I still saw younger women in their 30s with cervical cancer. And to me, I was wondering how did it get to stage 4 until we know that this is what it is, but there are no symptoms, no signs until it's too late. So I just want persons to do their ultrasounds, and even if you find a lump, don't say, all right, we're going to live with it because the doctor says that it's that. They cannot look on your breast and know that that's fibroadenoma. They cannot look on your breast and know that that's just a lump, that's just fibroids or whatever hormones they told you that it is. They can't just look on it. Ask for a biopsy or take it out. I want persons to go out there. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid if you find a lump in your breast and you're going to put it off because you don't want that to be the outcome. I want you to know that breast cancer, even at stage 4, is not a death sentence. There are a lot of survivors even at stage 4. So once you feel a lump, once you feel anything off, even if you miss your period and you're having spotting or whatever, that's a sign of cervical cancer. You should try to always do your pap smears, check your breasts, hold up your arm, check under your armpit, feel in and around it. And if you find anything off, just go to the doctor. The benefits of getting diagnosed early is that stage 1 to 2, it's 100% recovery. Stage 3, 72% recovery. Stage 4, 2% that lives to see 5 years. So you don't want to be where I am.